Hello everyone. What is going on? Welcome to your daily dose of World of Warships Legends shenanigans. I am, of course, your host, Phoenix61. We are in the Omono today, right? So we have this sort of long-range torpedo build with this particular Japanese cruiser line of, the tech tree that it is, right? So we take advantage of that, right? This Omono, the tier 6, right, you only get one launcher on each side, but as you progress through the ranks, you get more and more and more, right? So it's a lot of fun, right? So the Takahashi is one of my favorite ships right now in the game. I have a lot of fun playing as that ship. It does get kind of hard to have like interesting and exciting games with these ships because, at least with the way I've done the build, it's more about these like sort of zoning torpedoes, right, that I'm constantly sending through areas where I suspect enemies might come through, just because there's this crazy long range, right? And so like, and then decent reload on them, and yeah, and they're pretty tough as well, right? They do quite a bit of damage. So you'll see me sending a lot of torpedoes and not getting a lot of torpedo hits occasionally. So yeah, there's that challenge. But yeah, and you could make the argument too, like I've built heavily into the torpedoes with the build and the commander and loadout and stuff. And you could make the argument that it makes more sense to build into the guns just because you're going to be getting a lot more gun hits and stuff like that, right? So, but to my point here, like, right, we got pretty close on that. Yeah, we take out that Akatsuki, right, with just by kind of guessing where destroyers might show up in the zone, and we noticed there were 4 destroyers in this match, so we got the lucky hit there and got a kill with only 839 damage dealt, right, since our allied destroyer had done most of the work there for that. But yeah, so even if he wasn't there, we might have still gotten that hit, right? So we will help with the zone capture, and hopefully our destroyer moves out a little bit here. We do have 4 battleships that we're going up against, right? This is still very much a cruiser, right? Where you can, with if you're angled poorly against the battleship, right? If you're broadside to battleships, they can take you out pretty quick. So you always still have to be careful. But we don't see anybody else, so we'll push out at least for now. I'm still like a little nervous that like you gotta count the battleships, right? So we got 2 at B, 1 between B and C, and 1 over at C, right? So we know they're all accounted for now at this point. But otherwise, I would be skeptical that there might still be one, north of A here that could potentially pick us up as we move out. So something to keep in mind. But now we got the zone, we can move in, help support B now. They've pretty much given up on this flank. They left their 1 destroyer with no support, and that's going to be their downfall in this game, right? So we do get spotted here, so we know there's another destroyer at least somewhat in the vicinity. We have decent concealment built into this cruiser line that I've kind of been tweaking as the months go on as we play with these. So 9.6 kilometer detection range, so we know there's a destroyer within our detection circle somewhere here. We do have sonar ready to go if we suspect that we are getting torpedoed. And then, yeah, we're just using the sort of the torpedo targeting system, whatever you want to call it here, right, to sort of gauge where these 2 battleships are going as in relation to C, or in relation to the B cap, right? So we'll send some at like right through the zone there, as I'm going to guess either that Poltava or that other battleship, right, could potentially run into these. And then we have the rack that we sent previously is still going. And then we get picked up again. So I'm going to guess that this destroyer is maybe out in front of us somewhere that's picking us up here. The Poltava is obviously picking us up now as well. And then, yeah, we just make sure to turn into him as he takes those shots at us, and so we mitigate quite a bit of damage there. You have to watch out for these, the Soviet, you're right, the Russian battleships tend to have pretty good penetration angles. But yeah, it looks like we're going to get a hit on him with at least one of these torpedoes. And then just keeping an eye on our angle. And yeah, that takes a huge chunk of damage from him, where we did like 17,000 some with 1 torpedo. So that's just kind of goes to show the strength of the torpedoes along this cruiser line. But like I said, like, and I say this too, like pretty much every time I have a video with these ships, or when I'm playing with these on live stream, right, I'm always like, if you have one of those games where like the torpedoes just aren't connecting, right, it seems like super underwhelming and not exciting, right? So We'll show one where it actually we make some work of these guys. King George looks like he's either slowing down or planning to go in reverse and then changes his mind, so he might be moving forward again as well. I think we have struck fear into these guys, sending torpedoes through this zone constantly, so we might be able to get away with sneaking in here and doing kind of a circle. And hopefully we can get angled before this Poltava comes around the corner here. But yeah, if he's coming out to push out on us to try and take us out, he's going to meet our torpedoes, right? So we know he's dead, so we'll shoot our guns at the King George. But yeah, he takes it. Yeah, that's what I'm talking about. Like, he took a big chunk out of us there, even though we were angled. But that puts us up to 2 kills and almost 60,000 damage at this point now. And King George, it might not last much longer here either. Looks like somebody's got torpedoes on him. I'm going to still send these through, right? We can see there's still 2 destroyers and 2 battleships over at the sea cap. So at some point, if we overtake this side, right, they're going to be headed this way anyway. So we might as well send them, get them on the way, see what happens. And yep, there we go. He's gone. So now we can go in and capture the B-hole here. Pick up some points for our team. Airplane's spotting us, but that's not a big deal. We'll just fire burnout. We don't get a heal with this ship, but I think at the the tier 7s and 8s you get a heal, right, which is nice. And the fighter planes are kind of useless as well now, with how spotting from air works. So I know for sure on the Takahashi you can replace that out with a like an anti-air boost, right? And so that's what I've done on that one. I haven't checked. I haven't played Omono in a while, so I really should check and see if that's an option here. Because I would pick that over the fighter at this point. We'll hang tight here, make sure we can get the zone cap. We do have to be a little more careful, right? We're going to be a little bit more conservative with our gameplay at this point. Since we're so low on health, we don't have a lot left to sacrifice, right? And the game's not won yet. We're only up 1 ship, 2 ships. We're up 2 ships, but we're down a zone. So we'll make sure we get this zone. That's going to help out. Iowa is low on health. It's always tempting to poke your nose out and try and get those hits on him, but it'll only take 1 salvo from him for him to end us, so I'm not going to do that. We will, however, shoot at the Benson, though, if he sticks his nose out. Yep, it's going to be hard to hit. These are kind of floaty bullets, right? So they kind of have a decent arch, right? So it's tough to hit destroyers at range like this, but we'll take the shots. We'll play this game safe. It's totally losable if we just YOLO it at somebody. Yeah, at Iowa's low, but like I said, he can definitely reach us if we can reach him, right? He's gonna have better range than us. So we're just gonna be careful. It looks like he's looking, you know, off to his port side because of that destroyer that was over there, but they managed to finish him off. See if we can't get a fire. No. Get some decent hits though. Then we'll move away here. Just keeping an eye out there for if he fires his guns at us, we'll be able to spot him and see those shells coming. And then, yeah, since he got spotted, I'm going to assume that's from him firing his guns. He went dark and then fired, right? So that's why we knew they were coming. So I looked back to make sure we could try and see if we could try and maneuver a little bit to dodge those. Still took 1, but not too bad. And now we're going to be up on, we're going to have all 3 zones here if our destroyer over there is successful at the sea cap. So then it's going to be just a matter of being conservative and making sure we don't die. Yeah, like I said, our biggest concern is going to be that Iowa now at this point. So, but with our like spotting range, right? Like, you know, our concealment's pretty good, but the problem is there's 2 destroyers, right? So we'll send torpedoes towards him. He kind of knows, you know, at this point, like the enemy team here at this point has to be aggressive. in order to take this game back from us. We do get picked up, so I'm looking at the Iowa. You know, he's out of range of us, but I'm just looking at him to see if his guns start migrating this direction or not. Right, so I'm thinking he's looking towards our other destroyer, or our one remaining destroyer, right? And then since we had gotten spotted, we knew we were somewhat close to a destroyer, so we had our sonar going, and that picked up those torpedoes plenty early for us to be able to dodge those, right? And the Terrible takes a cheap shot at us, right, as he ducks behind the island right after shooting. So we sent torpedoes through the zone. We're going to be super, super cautious, right? They're trying to get the last couple of hits on us to get rid of us. We're going to be careful here. I don't need to man it out in that zone to win this game, at least not right now, not at this point. And we're spotted again. And we get lucky hit on the Iowa. I mean, granted, that was like our, what, third salvo of torpedoes towards that Iowa, right? So actually, no, there's still one more on the way, so I suppose I can't say that. But yeah, we'll continue to send torps through the B cap here and see if we can't get lucky on this Terrible. But killing that Iowa does help us out points-wise. That was a good swing for us, so now we're up 688 to 360. And then, if you look at the minimap, you can see our, you know, our allied destroyer up by the C cap. Looks like he's just moving away, right? So I'm gonna guess he's playing smart as well. But we could, you know, you could probably go full-on run away. It's a little sketchy right now at this point because, you know, there's still 3 minutes left, right? So if they pick up, you know, if one of their guys comes this way, picks up Zone A, their other one goes towards C, which it looks like is what is happening. Right, so we'll have to keep an eye on this. So we might have a situation where the destroyer that was at C now came over towards us, and then that Terrible went to C to capture C. We'll have to see what materializes here. That was a lot of C in succession there. Okay, anyway. Yeah, we're not spotted anymore. So right, we're located, right? So we know that someone's got the like twist and track or perceptive or whatever on us, which is fine. And then we can see once we got into the zone that it is contested, so we do know we are close enough to somebody in here. And then so we're getting lucky with our sonar coming back online right now too. So yeah, since we're not spotted, he doesn't quite know where we are either. So I'm gonna guess, you know, best case scenario, he sends some zoning torps through as well, and there they are. But we got sonar going, so we picked those up early, right? Those ones with the little round icons, right? Those are the deep water torpedoes, and those are much harder to spot. So if having sonar is huge for those. But yeah, you can't hit destroyers with those, but you can hit battleships and cruisers, right? So those still would have been detrimental to us. We'll get some good hits here. Of course, we can, you know, we're close enough to him, right, with this sonar going that, you know, if he had sent torpedoes, we would have known it. So we'd have been able to see him. So we're able to easily take him out by sneaking up on him through the island there and getting back in the zone. And we'll just wait for the zone capture, like earn some extra XP, but yeah, at this point the game is won. And yeah, we're spotted too, so we know he's off in that direction somewhere, just based on where he was last spotted. So we'll send some more torpedoes once these get loaded. I think we're good even if we die at this point. So we could push out, but yeah, he's got quite a bit of health left. He might finish off our destroyer, which is fine. We've got enough of a points difference, yeah, to still win this. You definitely could make the argument that I'm being very foolish for firing my guns here. In reality, yeah, you should probably just turn away. Make sure you lock in the win. But yeah, the reason I did is because we're at 4 kills. I want to try and get the Kraken, right? I'm like, it's worth it if I lose, right? But he's gonna smoke, which doesn't really make any sense, right? There's nothing going undetected sitting in your smoke screen is not really gonna do much for you at this point in the game, right? We're up on points. if I was him, I'd be charging full blast towards me to try and get the kill, right? If you want the win, that's the only way to get it at this point. But yeah, he's got quite a bit of health left, right? So we've got our work cut out for us, but there's only a couple seconds left, so that's going to end the game. But yeah, we potentially could have lost if he had more time, but I was like being selfish and wanting to crack it, right? When you're at that 4 kills with a, you know, having a good game, it's like, let's do this. It's worth the risk. But yeah, 4 kills, that does put us over the 3,000 mark for XP, which is a pretty good game, I would say. We'll see what the economy tab looks like here. Just out of curiosity, at 342,000 silvers for, that's a decent haul for a regular tech tree tier 6 cruiser. We'll take that. We'll quick go through the commander build here, right? This is the like dedicated torpedo commander. So I do have, for inspirations, I have this Nikolai guy on here for better cruiser main battery range, but I have since taken him off, and I think I put somebody else on there that buffs torpedoes in one way or another, right? Just because, like, with the extra range, it just doesn't feel that useful, since it's hard to get those hits since the bullets are kind of floaty. But anyway, for everything else, I pretty much picked torpedo, right? Where anything like torpedo range, torpedo reload, anything that you can whenever torpedoes are an option here. I've seen other people do other things in here if they're using this commander, right? Like, but I went full blown torpedoes, right? So like, and you could definitely make the argument that that's not the best way to do it, but that's what I've done, just because I don't know, I think it's fun. I think it's fun to try and get these torpedo hits, send these zoning torps through. That's where the big damage hits are going to be. But I think if you wanted like consistency, right, it makes more sense to build into the guns and maybe not even use this commander. But this is how I've done it. I'm having fun with it. And like I said, yeah, if you're not getting some of those torpedo hits throughout these games, like, the games can be pretty underwhelming. But yeah, this killing distance one is really fun, right? It like makes the torpedoes harder to spot, gives you more range, and they cause more damage the further they travel. So that's one that has pushed me away from the fully packed on a cruiser, right, that I normally like to pick. So that makes it kind of fun and unique as well. I think there's a couple other commanders out there that have that perk as well, so it's not completely unique to him, but it is a little more rare, right? Thank you guys so much for watching my video all the way through. I do enjoy all of your company here. Make sure you're following the channel, right? So we do Legends videos pretty much every single day. So yeah, if you're subscribed, we'll see you guys tomorrow. Thanks again.